afternoon. We are on our way to check off another national park.
Wrangell-St. Elias.
Yes. So this is also a national park that has like one road in, one road out, but what's odd about it, we were talking to a ranger somewhere else about it to get a couple tips, and she said that the town in there you actually can't drive to, like you have to park and then you take a bus to the town, but there are people that live there like in the middle of this national park year round, right?
Yeah, so it's like two towns. We're going to, there's two roads into here, but they're on different sides of this massive national park, and they lead to completely different areas.
And the one we're taking is the more popular one. The other one is
more for people who are trying to like summit mountains, or there's lots of mining activity up there. So like the like it's a commercial road, but it's called Nabanesca.
We wanted to take that one because of mining,
but we've run out of town. Or time.
We've run out of town. We've been run out of town. They're kicking us out.
We've run out of time. So even today we had to choose between going to Valdez, which is down the road, or going to Wrangell-St. Elias, and we want to go here. So like what Ray was saying is you drive down this dirt road and you park at the town of McCarthy, which has a bunch of people, and then you walk across a bridge, and then you take a shuttle up to Kennecott, which is the old, I think, copper mining town that's in the national park. They have a bunch of stuff up there, the visitor center and all that.
We're taking Farm Dog with us too, because we'll confirm when we get there, but the ranger that we talked to said that the bus is dog friendly, so she's gonna come along for the adventure today too. We'll let you know how it goes. We always love it when national parks are a little more dog friendly, obviously because we really enjoy bringing her along everywhere and not having to leave her in the camper and stuff. But yeah, so far it's been a stunning drive-in. The weather here literally overnight did a 180 for us. We were boondocking somewhere and we went to bed and it was like 43 degrees. And now it's 64.
Feels like 70.
It feels like 70. We were both like, ooh, we get to wear t-shirts today.
Yeah.
That's so funny, it's only 64. I thought it was way hotter. Anyway, but we have clear blue skies. It's actually like just so stunning to see this Alaska landscape, you know, with the moody, we really like the moody Alaska too, but to now be able to see it with like the clear blue skies and the snow-capped mountains is a treat too.
Yeah, it's totally different. And spring is still, you know, spring, and so even though it's summer, everything is just bright green, like thousands of shades of green. It's insane.
There's wildflowers like everywhere. I mean, my allergies hate it, but my eyeballs love it. So we're stopping at a little turnout to get lunch. We've officially made it to like the road in, and it is rough.
Yeah, it's like, I thought it was going to be gravel the whole section, but it's mostly paved. That's just potholed and frost heaved. So.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I'm actually gonna show you guys what the camper looks like because I'm assuming it looks real bad. But look at this bridge in the meantime. So one thing we learned about this road is it actually was the old railway to mine copper up here, and then they ended up just paving directly over it. So they said, watch out for rogue like rail spikes or old rail that might be coming through. All right, let's take a look. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. All right, so cushions are down. This thing normally stays on the oven. It has like these rubber feet that go onto the metal bars, but yeah, okay, so that got a bit shaken around. Yeah, the plastic came out around the booth, so here we are. All right, so the camper's not too beat up, which is good. So where'd you get this audio tour thing that we're doing?
The National Park has it on their website, or you can stop by a visitor center and pick up a CD.
An actual CD, okay. So Jason downloaded from the website this National Park audio tour, which is how we're learning all this stuff about the roads, or the road, and, you know, as we get closer to the National Park, I'm sure it'll tell us more about that. It kind of tells you the mile markers and then tells you about the area. So we're about to learn about this one-way bridge, which looks really cool. So far, the only thing we really know about it is that they built it in 2 months in the winter. Oh, and what else did it say? They built part of the railway over like 2 glaciers.
Yeah.
I'm curious about that. Are the glaciers gone? Or like, I don't know. Anyway. I'll be curious to know which parts of the railway that was, but yeah, so we're literally driving the old railway path into the town, and this was kind of by train was the only way to really get here so they could mine for copper, but it sounds really rough. Like they talk about the winters being so challenging when they were building it, and then even after it was built, mining, like getting the train to have a clear path. They used one of those like giant snow, I guess they're snow plows, but for the front of the train. We saw one on the train tour that we did in Talkeetna, and it was really cool. We didn't see it going, but we saw like what it looked like in person. Anyway, so far, this audio tour, I highly recommend it. Otherwise, this would just be a really bumpy ride, a really stressful drive, but it's actually gotten a lot better. Like right when you got on the road, it was dirt and so bumpy, and we kind of looked at each other, and I think we were kind of thinking the same thing of like, I don't know, do we really want to do this? But shortly after that, it did get paved, and now you're just kind of dealing with your typical like rough Alaska roads of what it feels like when they're unpaved. So it's not too bad. And we've seen I just saw one RV. There's other cars, you know, there's a whole family in a minivan up here. So people are doing it, you know. I wouldn't be too worried about that. I would just make sure you're like full on fuel and you're ready for a bumpy ride, and it's gonna take quite a bit. It's only a 60-mile road, but the GPS is telling us it's a 2-hour drive, which makes sense because they want you to go 30 miles an hour. All right, I think that's all the information I can regurgitate for you right now. second guess that smell in your RV? We certainly were, and that's why we created Tank Tune-Up. We created this holding tank treatment with a dual action formula that not only breaks down waste, but eliminates odors. Our formula doesn't have fillers or artificial fragrances that honestly sometimes make the odors worse. Tank Tune-Up is so easy to use, just simply scoop it, rinse it, and forget it. Whether you're hitting the road for a weekend getaway or living the full-time RV lifestyle, Tank Tune-Up makes odors a thing of the past. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description to get yours today. And if you want to learn more about our product, check out our full video on it. All right, guys, so I think after today, we learned that we really messed up this trip to Kennecott. But
Yeah.
we're gonna tell you all about it.
So you don't mess up.
Exactly. First things first, though, I don't want to hold this camera, and Jason really wanted to show you this glacier.
This big overexposed area right here that just looks like nothing but white.
I think you could see it.
That's one of 2 glaciers right here.
That we had no idea were here.
And you can hike to them, or take excursions, or learn how to ice climb, or just all this stuff. And they have guided tours to do that, which is, in my opinion, recommended if you're going on a glacier. They're super dangerous.
Yeah. So second thing second, which is going to be like third, fourth, fifth, all our tips you're getting from the truck.
Second thing second.
Second thing second. I don't even know where to start, to be honest.
Right,
there's no particular order to this.
Let's start with pulling in.
Yeah, pulling in.
Parking, you can park for free a mile from the footbridge. So to get here, you drive down the McCarthy Road all the way, and it's bumpy, and at about mile 30, it turns into just nothing but gravel, and it's a little washboarded. But I would say doable by everyone, even if you're going slow. I don't know if I would bring fifth wheels and stuff, like big 42-foot rigs down here.
Absolutely not.
You could. I just would not recommend it.
Right, and we have seen travel trailers, Class C's, vans. So a lot of people are bringing their rigs down here.
Yeah, big Class C's, like the 30-something footers.
I want to take it one step back real quick. So, first of all, the information we got about this park was in Fairbanks. We went to the visitor center at Fairbanks, and there just happened to be a national parks.
No, they run it. So it's a public lands information center run by the national parks.
Okay, so we were talking to this ranger about all of these different parks, and so when we got to this park, she was like, oh, it's dog friendly, rough road in 60 miles, no camping. So you have to plan your day to go out and back, and then that was really it. And then we kind of went on to the next national park, and so that's all the information we had. It's our bad that we did not do any other research. So we planned our whole trip around that information, and that was totally our fault.
Yeah, that being said, there is camping down here. I
do think that some of the camping down here is on people's private land, so it's a 60-mile road in, and you're gonna see different paths off this main road all the time, and those are private properties, and there's gonna be national park signs that say leaving national park, entering the national park, leaving the national park, and that's because there is private land out here. I do think some people are making their private lands campgrounds, so you're gonna see hand-painted signs that say camping. But then when you get down here, very at the end of the 60 miles, you're going to see actual camping.
Right. So the hard thing we had was that you have no cell service for AT&T at least. The only signs that there are here, you have the occasional national park sign, but most of them are local signs that people have made them from either local companies or whatever. So essentially you just follow McCarthy Road, you take it all the way straight until you can't go anymore. You'll see a footbridge that crosses a river. For us, that's where we parked. It was $5 for
4 hours.
4 hours, or $10 for 24 hours. So if you want to spend the night.
But I think the weird exclusion to that is
spending the night?
It's to leave your car here for 24 hours because there's hotels
In McCarthy. Okay.
And
all right.
yeah.
So they also have a campground
and
here.
And I think that's 35.
35.
When I went inside, I saw a little more information.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not painted on the sign outside like I saw.
Yeah.
So, and it's dry camping and it's beautiful. It's along this glacier river. From this parking lot, you can see the glacier, and as you just saw, like it's beautiful. It's stunning.
And which glacier is that?
Root? This is Root Glacier.
Okay.
Yeah, that you can see, because Kennecott Glacier is kind of around the corner a little bit.
So
recommended, stay here. So worst case scenario,
don't walk the mile.
Yeah,
for
there's places for free parking. You can't camp there though at the National Park Center. There is other spots a little bit further up the road, which is also $5. So just drive all the way down.
I think that again is someone's private property. That's
so they're trying to like
catch
divert
people before they get down here.
They have the most signs, to be honest.
Yeah, and they're all hand painted. So get to the footbridge. It's like the furthest you can go. Pay the $5 or $10 for the whole day there. Or
the $35 to camp right on the river here. Do that, absolutely, because there is so much to do here.
We had no idea.
And it's a pain to get here. So
it is
yeah. Honestly, I think I would have spent 2 days here at least. So it's also weird to get further into the national park. So once you cross the footbridge, which you have to walk across, there are all kinds of signs from locals, but like the main ones just are, I don't even understand it, but there's a $5 shuttle that's advertised that'll take you up to Kennecott by a guy named Dan, which you could take that. They allow dogs on, that's fine. Or you can take a free shuttle to McCarthy, which is half a mile up, or you can walk. I mean, if a half a mile's not that bad. We honestly walked it back. It's not a deal. And once you're in McCarthy, there is
another free shuttle
that'll take you up to Kennecott.
Right, and those are free because they're by the national park.
Or something. Yeah, it doesn't it doesn't say NPS anywhere. They might be
these are just like
concessionaires.
shuttle vans. Yeah, so okay, that was our first mistake. Was we crossed the footbridge, we saw Dan saying $5 shuttles to McCarthy. This guy came down in a different shuttle and he was like, "Do you want
to Kennecott?"
And he's like, "Do you want to go to McCarthy?" And we were like, "No, we're trying to go to Kennecott." And he's like, "All right, well, I can take you to McCarthy and then you could take another shuttle from McCarthy to Kennecott." And we were like, "No, we'll just wait for Dan."
Yeah, I'm not going to pay for 2 shuttles.
Yeah, we thought he was charging. So anyway, so this guy leaves. The Dan shuttle shows up like 30 minutes later, and he's like, "Where are you going?" And we're like, "Kennecott." And he's like, "Oh, no, I'm not going to Kennecott anymore."
He's like, I got to go to Anchorage, so I'm ending for the night.
Yeah, he's like, "I'm done for the day." Even though the sign he has out there says late. So we're like,
7, yeah.
"Okay, so how do we get to Kennecott?" And he's like, "Take the free shuttle." And we're like, "What free shuttle?" So then that same guy happens, and now there's been 30 minutes, he comes back down, and so we walk up to him, and we're like, "Hey, will you take us to McCarthy?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'll take you to McCarthy. And then you could catch the shuttle to Kennecott." So we sat there.
We're like, "How much?" And he's like, "It's free."
It's free, yeah. So that was our big mistake, was like not understand. And it seems so sketch, to be perfectly honest. Like these shuttles are just like random shuttle vans.
They're not branded. There's nothing on them. It's just a black shuttle van shows up and it's like, "Hey, you want to go to McCarthy?" And I'm like,
"You're like, what? Get in the van."
Yeah.
So that's what we did.
Yeah.
Took the shuttle to McCarthy, got on another free shuttle, took the shuttle to Kennecott.
Yep.
Walked around Kennecott for an hour because once again, we didn't plan properly. We did not leave early enough today. We had no idea there was so much to do here. We thought these were just 2 tiny little old basically ghost towns, you know?
Yeah.
And they're not. Like, I have to admit, this is probably now one of my favorite national park areas in the sense for how they're doing their renovations. Like, they're renovating the mine, they're renovating the buildings that are up there, and they let you inside some of them. Like, they're just completely open to the public, and they're so cool. And I'm probably really into it right now because we bought a historic home, so like the wavy glass just does it for me. And you know,
the original flooring,
and the lap siding, and like, so we're just looking at all this old stuff and we're like, this is so cool. And so in that aspect, like, it's really, really cool. I don't think we've seen any other like restoration projects like this. I could be wrong because again,
it's
like,
done nicely,
right? Because renovations and like historic homes is now top of mind. You notice these things, but Anyway, it's really, really cool. And so we
There's
missed...
tons of stuff to see.
Yeah, we missed all the ranger tours. You can go inside the mine. You can go inside some of the buildings they've restored.
They have concessionaire tours up there where, like, you pay for a tour. And at certain times, and we missed those. And they go all the way up into, like, the big elevator-looking building and, like...
Yeah, so we missed, like, all the tours because we got here too late. We were only able to explore an hour, which was plenty of time to walk back and forth. But, you know, it's not enough time to take a tour and to really, like, read all the signage that they have and really look at the history of the place. So we really only got, like, a little taste of Kennecott, you know?
So we did that. We looked around. I would definitely recommend, if you come up here planning to, once you get up to Kennecott, you can hike over to the glacier, and either doing it yourself, just go to, like, the edge of the glacier, maybe walk on, like, a little bit of it, or you can get a tour. They have tours up there to go all the way. And
but
it's like
they
a half
probably
day.
also tell you, like, some of the safer areas.
Yeah,
to walk
I think they have like the safer areas,
trail,
like a little trail out there that you can take.
We don't know. We didn't get to do it.
Right. But so you can book all of that from up in Kennecott.
Yeah.
So anyways, then we took the free shuttle back from Kennecott to McCarthy, and the last shuttle running today, which is, you know, July,
Sunday.
in the summer,
July,
is 7 p.m.
Yeah.
So they run back on every hour.
Right.
So just plan for something like that. You go up there for a couple of hours and make sure you finish your hikes and get back before 7. And they said if you're there at 7 and they fill their van and they can't take you down, they know you're there and they'll come back and pick you up. But if you're, like, not there at 7 or 7:10,
and they've already left.
Yeah, if they're gone, they don't know you're up there. So it's only a 4.5 mile walk back, but you know.
But it's like a 20-minute drive because it's like very similar to the McCarthy Road. Yeah, it's all gravel and whatever. So
McCarthy.
Yeah.
I don't know. We heard there's lots of loose dogs there, which there are.
Which we saw firsthand.
Yeah. Most of them were friendly, so make sure your dog is friendly.
I
there was the one like kind of growled, but then came up and was
he was like
fine.
still wagging his tail, which like could still be a sign of aggression, but so
we had no problem whatsoever.
No problem at all.
Especially
but if you have an aggressive dog, like maybe you could have some problems. So Carmen's so passive, you know, if a dog is like in her face, she's like not into it at all, wants to get away. So I'm normally the one standing between Carmen and the dog.
And so they do have like places to get espresso. They had a little kind of like grocery store. There is a liquor store up there.
There's
and then
a saloon.
There's a saloon, which we didn't go to, but the saloon has beer and barbecue. We heard they just got a brand new smoker this year and said that it took the #1 place. There are only 2 places to eat in McCarthy, or two restaurants. So they took #1 place this year, but the previous years, the place called Potato took the top, and that's where we ate because we couldn't take our dog into the saloon's patio sitting.
The saloon on the patio said no dogs on the patio.
Right. So then we walked up to Potato, and there was like 15 just loose dogs like walking around outside. They only let them outside.
Yeah.
And there's signs that say don't feed the dogs, and we're like, oh no. But they were all very friendly.
So
They're all good boys.
And good girls.
And so
I loved it.
And they just lounge around and like
they're so cute. They go from table to table, like
not trying to get scraps or anything. They're trying to get scratches.
Yeah, they get scratches. They'll play with sticks and all of them at one point came over and said hi to Carmen. She was falling asleep in the back. All of them came over and said hi to her at one point, and you know she's surprisingly not really into other dogs. Like I think anyway.
Or
it was just we liked it, but again, aggressive dogs, do not bring them. Scared dogs, do not bring them.
So we can't speak to the saloon, but the Potato had delicious food. Like honestly,
very good.
I don't know. I would say for me it's like the perfect where it's like there's a good chef making good food, but it's not too expensive and it's not too pretentious. Like it's not like fine dining. It's like good food, but then like your fries are served in like a little fry basket, but they're spiralized, and we got the garlic and rosemary. It was like delicious. It was like I wish that we had this food like back home, like at the house we just bought. Like the restaurants around are like okay, but like this is like that step up where whoever the chef is, like loves food and like keeps it.
Yeah.
Or like like it's just like that secondary level of like.
Yeah, just everything's that a little bit fancier, but still served on like you're in the middle of nowhere, Alaska.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Yeah, I love it. It's my favorite.
Yeah.
So and they have lots of beers there as well. Like a surprisingly like large beer menu. It was like a whole side of a A4 paper.
Yeah, so many different states. They bring in a lot of beer.
Or legal paper, I guess. I don't know if that's A4. I think so.
Yeah. Anyway, so what else? I don't know. Those are kind of like our tips. Is you definitely need more time. There is camping down here. I would look at the very least stay one night, but I think if we came back, we would stay 2 nights.
Yeah, take the tour of the mine and hike the glacier, I think, at the very minimum.
So if you're only going to do one day, like get out here early, because that 60-mile road at the minimum is going to take you 2 hours.
Yeah.
Plan for 3 if you want to stop and make lunch.
I think it's 3 from like the far end, because it's 90 miles from, it goes like paved road.
Oh, okay.
From nowhere, from like the main highway. It's like paved road for 30, and then once you get into Chitna, and it becomes the McCarthy road, that's 60. So it's like you have a 90-mile trip.
The only other thing I would tell you to double check, because we didn't get this information, was even though the towns are dog friendly, the 2 towns are dog friendly, and the shuttles are dog friendly, even the national park, like free shuttles, like there were dogs on and off. I can't imagine they wouldn't be, but I would double check that the trails are dog friendly.
True. And like if you do pay to take a tour, if that's dog friendly.
Yeah. And also, like, I know this sounds silly, but it was only 72 today, but it was really hot. And when we came back from the truck camper, like, it was warm. So if you are going to leave them here, this is dry camping, so please just be aware of that and how your camper warms up. And
keep your fans on, your window open.
Yeah, if you're going to leave them in the camper, for sure. So, anything else?
I don't think so. Now we've delayed enough. We got to...
so dreading it.
Drive back.
I don't know why I'm dreading it so much, but I really am. It's just so shaky.
Yeah.
All that dinner we just had is gonna...
Yeah.